Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid fan fixes scene with AI. Now, there is a version of the video you can watch that plays like a lot of the episode. But I think that this one is more entertaining.
Somebody used AI to fix the Dragon Maid dub? Oh boy.
Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves. So I changed clothes.
What's with that outfit?
Oh, everyone was always saying something to me, so I tried toning it down for exposure. How is it?
You should try changing your body next.
Damn. Bro, like, she was savage about that.
So, real quick. When you use 11 Labs, which is almost certainly what they use to do this, that sounds like they only typed the line in once and said, okay, well, there it is.
Do enough takes, but
believe it or not, if you fiddle with it, you can get something much better than that.
And very
the only problem is that 11 Labs
has a character
costs
limit.
Tokens. Yeah, it costs character tokens. So you have to use up quite a lot of them to get it to sound good. But you could get it to sound good. And if you got the enterprise option, you might even get to a point where you could do it in like you pay $1,000 a month or whatever it would be for the dubbing studio, theoretically, right? And you have an unlimited usage or something, you know. I don't know, but it would cost you less, right? The enterprise option than to hire the voice actors, right? Kind of thing.
I would say that the training is really good. It sounds like Jamie. I don't know about the other one.
I feel like
that's
Toru
Sarah
could have been trained
Wiedenhoff.
better. Yeah, she
What'd
could
you
have been
say,
trained a
Bruno?
bit better.
The other one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Like, she
even
was
the Jamie
sap-
one to some extent, they could have just
You
retried
think
it.
so?
So
Yeah.
here's one of my biggest gripes with 11 Labs. The output is mono.
Yeah, not stereo. Well,
Not
actually,
stereo.
no, that's fine. That's what
Just
you
have
want.
it output twice. And then play
No,
it.
no,
That
no, no.
doesn't quite work.
No, hold
No?
up, hold up.
Why not? That seems like it would work.
When you have, you know, the microphone you hold with your hand, and
Mhm.
it's like a ball, and you're a performer on a stage. That's a one-channel microphone. So you record that with voiceover. You do the same.
Okay.
It's mono, and then you
All
put it in the mix.
You're missing the point.
I am.
There have been numerous times where my boss has asked me to use AI, the magic wand that solves all of the problems, to do something. Like, for example, called out here, we have a guy who tangentially is associated with us, and he works with us, and he's like one of the sports like provide like the healthcare providers for a sports team, right? And so like this sports team is going to go to the Olympics, and they're like they went to their like I don't even know what you would call it, like the World Cup or whatever
why
kind
does
of
he
thing.
want mono? Or
So hold on.
Stereo?
So we have a recording of this guy giving like a testimonial for our product, talking about how he's about to go to X country, right? Because of what our training systems gave him the ability to do. Now, because I use these systems, I'm able to go to blank country and be with the sports team while they're on their way to the gold or whatever kind of thing, right? Now, we have this recording. It's an honest testimonial, but that sports team is going to a different country. So my boss is like, use AI to change the country. So what ends up happening is you have a nice, crisp, clear, obviously real with like, you know, speaking pattern issues, like just stammering or whatever. And it's in stereo. And then it goes, thanks to these systems, I'm going to Australia. Like it sounds really fucking obvious when you cut from stereo to mono in a setting like that, right?
Use a widener, a stereo widener.
All right, you'll have to teach me how to do this later. But
Either
anyway,
way, that
there's
sounds
more-
like a you problem, buddy. The mono's plenty good.
Oh, the thing that drives me up the wall though is like I'm listening to it, I'm like, this sounds fucking awful. And my boss will hear it once and be like, sounds great, let's publish it as a Facebook ad. I'm like, oh no.
That's all that matters.
Oh shit.
Why don't you just change the other audio to mono?
I mean, you can, but it's not just that. Like it's complicated. Like I have to sit you down and like show
the
you
spatial awareness.
Like so, what I would do. So, spoiler for everybody, or I guess I'm going to reveal the magic trick. Is that a spoiler? When I used to do like reviews on the channel, there would be times like the first couple I did them in one take, right? And that was the thing. I was a fucking idiot, and for some reason didn't want to do jump cuts back then. So I did everything in one take, right? And then when I did, I think it was the second review I did for David Dossi, right? I zoomed in at one point and thought, wow, that actually kind of like adds a lot to the edit there. Just like zooming in when I'm like putting my hands on my hair and just kind of like, I ain't ready to tell you this, right, about David Dossi kind of thing. So I started to do that. And then I realized that I could use that to mask cuts, right, if I had to. Because in order to keep putting out 2 videos a week like I was doing back then, I needed to get better, like figure out systems that allowed me to fuck up and still salvage it, right? So you think at first, like, oh, here's an example actually. In one of the early tip videos, I think it is, I talk about buying things new or used. And for some fucking reason, I said used twice or new twice instead of new or used. So I literally fucking stood in the same spot and recorded myself saying the other thing like 14 times to try to just like, because new and used are so close in mouth movements that I was convinced I could just fix it that way. And truly, honestly, like you can watch it. It's on YouTube, right? But truly, I don't think I did quite get it perfect. But the trick to getting it perfect is not to record just the word you're changing. You want to go back half a paragraph and get your speech pattern up like you're like a running start for the part that you need to fix, so that by the time you get there, your voice pattern matches what the flow of conversation would have it get to, in order for you to have a version that's more fixable. And then you cut it at like a syllable before, and then it like flows much better. I do that shit all the time. Like it's fucking great. Especially with podcast clips, because we stammer and stutter a lot. So anyway, let's get back to the video here and hear the rest of it here.
About that.
It's no wonder those annoying voice actors are upset.
They're all so arrogant and annoying.
Nah, just the Western ones.
Bro, I wasn't expecting that. Damn, that's really good. Bro, no wonder they're worried about losing their job. Bro, I'd be worried too. This shit was funny. I would have never known this was AI.
How would you like to respond to that kind of criticism?
To the criticism, like...
So I tried toning it down for exposure.
That's the exact phenomenon you're talking about. How it's like, oh, it's stereo, and then it's like, nah.
I should have just let it play, huh?
Yeah. And the zoom in too. You got everything.
So you'll notice the ones with
you're plagiarizing that video.
You'll notice the ones with Joe Rogan. They'll always use the clip where he's like turned to the side, like look at this that Jamie's pulled up, and it's like they'll do it in such a way where like all the shit on TikTok, like your icon and stuff is like right over his fucking mouth, so that you can't actually see it moving to realize it's not actually syncing up with what he's saying. So anyway, I think that was like I said, it could be way better. And like with the tools they use to do that, they could get it much better. And the biggest hurdle, I think, is that the stereo mono issue, because it's just not quite like that is a big noticeable shift.
Hold up. You say that, but Dragon Maid's in 5.1. So
Okay.
this is where mono actually is a strength because you can just throw it on that center channel.
Okay.
Just hope they don't have
Perhaps you
reverbs on the
can.
side.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like it's there are issues with it that don't make every use case that you are going to do something like this to easy, but it is doable. And all you have to do to get it to not be as weird is get that lead-in dialogue changed too, right? And then you can kind of massage it to the point where it's not as noticeable. Like there's definitely ways to do it. Or you can use 11 Labs dubbing feature and just have the Japanese voice actress say it in English. And that is wonderful. Jamie Markey as Jackie Chan fighting the patriarchy.
Yeah. Have you seen, okay, on New Year's, someone showed us Star Wars like Anakin versus Obi-Wan, but it was like the Japanese Google Translate voice.
Cool to see he wants to put the AI dub on the Blu-ray. So actually, before we go on to this next topic here, there's actually more to the Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid fix here, because we've really only talked about the patriarchy line, and I brought up previously the cultural appropriation line from episode 1. But actually, there's a ton of other shit. Wow, fuck! It's not in this article. Where was that shit? So
the one nice thing about the AI is it gets rid of her Valley Girl accent.
So there is another line. We've talked about this before. The Kobayashi Dragon Maid dub actually had its lesbian theme removed by Jamie since the first episode. When Jamie got called out for this, she declined its existence and spurged about it on Twitter. See, in the first episode, Kobayashi gets told it's sexual love, to which she is surprised in the Japanese, and in the English dub, she is annoyed and says, "I'm not into chicks." So, Jonathan of JR Pictures, which I believe is an author for Anime News Network, says, "Hey, at Jamie Markey, since you're writing Maid Dragon, could you tell us why Kobayashi's line was changed from the subs 'I'm a woman' though? Certain people aren't particularly happy with what it has been changed to. I'm not into women and what it implies." Jamie Markey replied with, "Didn't want the implication that Miss K finds something wrong about lesbianism. She just doesn't. She's just not into it personally. And timing. It was timing. Timing is because of timing and lip flaps, right? But isn't Miss K gay or bi or whatever? I remember that explicitly from the manga. She showed attraction to Toru many times."
No, she doesn't.
I guess you'll just have to wait and see. Oh my God, you're trolling us. Just a bad rewrite that gets contradicted later more than the original writing did. Anyway, so this has been a long time thing. I swear, I don't know where it is, but there is another article I had that had, or like another version of that video we were looking at that actually had these other lines changed as well. RIP. It's gone forever. Anyway, so moving on from here.